unfolded at 100 Center Street this morning, sending 2 officers out in ambulances. At this time, still no word on their conditions and the suspect in custody. Let's get right out to Fox 5's Meredith Gorman, who joins us live at the scene. Meredith, what do we know as of right now?
Bianca, yes, it's a scary scene this morning. What we're learning is that multiple court officers were stabbed and slashed at the Manhattan Criminal Court behind me in what officials say, again, they believe was a targeted attack. Court officials tell Fox 5 that around 9:45 this morning, an armed person attacked at least 2 court officers who were working on security details in the lobby at the courthouse here on 100 Center Street. They suffered slash and stabbing injuries, which the New York State Supreme Court Officers Association says one officer sustained serious injuries to his face and neck. Now you can see the court officers going out to the ambulances outside of the courthouse shortly after the attack in this video, with other court officers lined up outside. I'm told that the other court officers rushed to stop the suspect and disarmed him before the suspect was taken into custody. Now there's crime scene tape up behind me at the entrance to the courthouse, and there were ambulances on scene that just left seconds ago. Now the investigation remains ongoing, and there is no word yet on potential charges against the suspect or the suspect's identity. But this all comes as the Court Officers Union has been calling for updated security measures to keep these courts more safe and secure, and for their workers to stay more safe and secure.
Absolutely. Obviously doing some very important work there.
Yes. We're going to talk about this one. This incident just took place. Outrageous, man. Listen, outrageous. And once again, the violence is getting worse every day all around the world. You know, this was a completely unprovoked attack. This gentleman just literally walked into the courthouse in Manhattan, New York City, walked into the courthouse, and well, you know, when you go into a courthouse, you have to get checked. You have to go through scanners and all those type of things. Whatever you have in your pocket, you have to take it out. So once he walked in, and he was at that point where you have to take everything out, his bag, his pocket, and everything. Why is this gentleman is standing at the desk, taking everything out? He's acting like he's taking everything out, his pocket, his book bag. This gentleman just literally grabbed a knife from his book bag and just straight rush to where the officers were standing. I'll show you the video. He was standing acting like he was taking his stuff out his pocket, and he just lunges straight to the officers right there, the court officers, dude, and just started wailing on them with the weapon for no reason. A completely unprovoked act, dude. The officers, the court officers in there, they're doing their job, dude. These people is not bothering nobody. We all know the routine when we go to a courthouse. If you go into a courthouse just to pick up documents, paperwork, whatever it is, whatever you're doing, and you have to enter a courthouse where there is judges, you have to go through a complete security checkpoint. 100%. We all know how that works. If you live in America, you know how it works. In any court building you ever gonna enter, you have to be searched. You have to be thoroughly searched. You have to go through scanning machines. Everything in your pocket has to be emptied out. That's just the way of life. That's the law. You know, so I don't see why would you go and attack court officers for doing their job. These guys are not standing there breaking balls, dude. You know the routine. You go into the courthouse, take your stuff out your pocket. You're gonna go through a scanner. You know the routine, dude. So I don't know what will make somebody so angry at court officers. When I first found out about this news, I'm like, why would you attack a court officer, somebody who stands inside of a building that you have to enter the building, and all you have to do is just basically, they're standing there to make sure you go through the scanner. That's all a court officer does, that they're standing there to make sure you go through the scanner the correct way. They're standing there to make sure that you empty out your pockets, your bags, that everything that you're carrying gonna go through the scanning system, the scanning process the correct way. That's it. They don't say nothing to you. You don't say nothing to them. You put your stuff on the belt. You walk through the scanner. If the scanner doesn't go off, they don't say a word to you. You pick up your stuff and you go in. I'm like, why would you be so hostile and angry at people who are just doing the job? It's just like they didn't provoke this man in no way, shape, or form. You're gonna see the video and you'll be like the same way I'm thinking, like, why would you even commit such a heinous crime against people who are not doing nothing to you? But at the end of the day, that's just the way of life these days. You know, it's unfortunate, man, but the amount of violence that's been taking place in the United States and all around the world, it's increasing every single day. The amount of violence and unnecessary stuff that's been taking place every single day in this world, man, is getting worse. You know, straight hands down, it's getting worse every single day. You're finding out and you're hearing about things that's like put chills in your body, because it's just, to me, it's like, it's uncalled for, it's unnecessary. It's, you know, it's just completely chaos and destruction that's going on around the world. And for what? What are you gaining? What, like going to jail, going to prison for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years of your life? You're willing to just waste your life for unprovoked violence. That's all it is. It's unprovoked violence. You're walking into a building where people are working, people are doing the job to feed themselves, to feed their families, and you're just going out your way to literally attack them without them doing anything to you, without them saying anything to you. You're just literally going up to them and attacking them for doing the job. Hurting a court officer, I don't get it, dude. I don't get why would you do it, but the way life is going these days, man, it's getting worse. 100% getting worse, dude. In every which way, shape, and form, things are just getting worse every single day, man. I tell you guys out there, be careful. You know, watch your surroundings. Stay away from the people that you know that could bring chaos in your life. You know, that's a lot of things people don't understand as well. Like, you could be a good person, you could have a really good heart, you could be doing what's right, but if you surround yourself with people that's doing bad things, those are type of karma that comes back towards you that you least suspect. And you're thinking, oh, you're not involved in none of this stuff, that, you know, you're working, you're doing what's right. But if you surround yourself with people that's constantly doing bad, that's constantly doing things that you might not be a part of, but that's what they're involved in, you know, it brings that bad attention to you. It brings that bad karma to your direction. You know, it's unfortunate, but that's just how it works, man. So it's always best, man, stay to yourself. You know, love being by yourself. You know, love being in an environment where you're comfortable by yourself, because the more you hang out with your own self, the less is a possibility of nonsense could happen. You know what I mean? That's just how I think. So me personally, I always say to myself, dude, I stay to myself as much as I can every day, dude. There goes the video right here. See, this gentleman, he's on the belt, acting like he's taking the stuff out of his pocket and his bag. And he's gonna just literally lunge right there, boom. Just lunge to the officers. Right there, that's when all hell broke loose. And it's hard to detain a gentleman with a long kitchen knife. This gentleman, is hard for you to go and grab him because he has a knife that is swinging left and right. So you know you're gonna get cut. You know you're gonna get stabbed. But it's best you take the risk, because if you just let him keep swinging the knife, more chaos could happen. So in a situation like that, if you ever want to detain someone with a weapon, you're gonna have to understand that you're gonna get cut. It's a possibility you will get stabbed, but that's the only how to contain that individual. There's no other way. Look how many officers that it took to contain this gentleman, dude. It took over 8 to 10 officers to actually grab this man and contain him. You know, but once again, man, it was a completely unprovoked act. Out of nowhere. You standing doing your job in a building. You're in a building. You're not outside. You're in a secure building. And somebody just walked into the building, grabbed the weapon, and just start attacking you and your colleagues. So is that like, that's you're not expecting stuff like that to happen. But these days, bro, always, whenever you leave your house, whenever you get up, get dressed, and walk out of your house, always expect the worst. Hope for the best and pray to God. And always pray. Always ask God to watch over you every step you make in this world. But just never leave your house thinking you're going to always make it back home safe. I tell people all the time, and my people around me, whenever you get back home, whenever you make it back to your residence, thank God that you actually made it back to your residence. Thank God for watching over you on your journeys, because the way things are going these days, the chaos and the amount of violence and the amount of unnecessary stuff that's going on in this world these days, bro, don't take when you get back home for granted. Don't take it for granted, because a lot of people do. A lot of people get up, get dressed, and leave their house, and they make it back home, and thank God they make it back home, but they don't take the time out to show gratefulness to God and his family for actually guiding them back into their residence. Because nowadays, you know how much people, you know how many people leave their residence and never, unfortunately, make it back home, though? You know, they never make it back home. This is the perfect example. These court officers are doing their job. They got up, get dressed, went into their job. How they're taking care of themselves. They're taking care of the family. They're earning an honest living. And they wasn't expecting to be in a secure building to get attacked in a federal building. You know, you're not expecting to get attacked in any building. Imagine in a federal secure building. So if it could happen in a federal secure building, imagine in regular buildings when there is no weapons for you to use against someone that's attacking you. And those court officers has weapons. Those court officers they have pistols. They have weapons on them. But they just refuse to use the weapon because they didn't want to take it to that level. One of the court officers could have seriously hurt that gentleman, but they decided not to take it to that level. They decided just to grab him, secure him, get the weapon out of his hands. And as you can tell, there was a couple of officers that got stabbed, got cut. But that's the thing, when you're intended to grab somebody or contain someone with a knife or with a machete, which is a longer version of a knife, you're gonna have to expect to get cut 100%. If you're going into it without the thought that you're gonna get cut, something bad, worse could happen. Because if you run away from this gentleman, you give him the upper hand to keep using the weapon. So the best way to grab and contain a situation like that, you're gonna have to get cut. You will a possibility have to get stabbed, but that's the only how you could go reach on the person, grab them, contain them, and that's it. Get the weapon out of their hands. And that's exactly what the officers did. And a couple of them got hurt, but they'll survive. Thank God they'll survive, you know. But just want to bring this video to you guys, man, to just, ladies and gentlemen, don't take life for granted, man. Every single day now, God gives you life. Just be grateful and always thank God for everything that you have. Your life most important, because there is just a lot of chaos and unnecessary violence every single day all around the world. And I ask and pray to God to bring peace into this world. For us to find a way to live in peace amongst each other, for us to find a way to enjoy life together. I pray and ask God for us to do things together, for us to help each other. Instead of we destroying each other's lives, instead of we hurting each other, I pray and ask God every single day for him to put us together in a closer way, for him to help us work together, for him to help us make this world a better place. And I always remind myself there is good and bad in this world. There is the God way and there is the evil way. And believe it or not, there is more godly people in this world. There's way more good people and bad people. But yes, there is very bad individual. There is a lot of very evil individual in this world as well. We have to share the world with good and bad. So that's just how the world works. But ladies and gentlemen, do the best you can to avoid the bad and the evil in this world. Stay on the path with God. Follow God. Let God carry you through the things that you're struggling with. Always treat people the way you want to be treated. Always do what's right for others in the eyes of God and his family. Always make God and his family a part of your decision making. May God bless our Commander-in-Chief, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Sir, I hope and wish you and your family have a good day. To all and the rest of the Americans, God bless us all in America. God bless everybody all around the world. And to the countries that's currently going through turmoil with the war and the violence, I hope peace may come between all of us all around the world. Until the next video, guys, please stay safe, love each other, do what's right for each other, and let's care about each other and work together to make this world a safer and a better place for us all.